Peace. Top of the morning to you. Back out in these streets. About to get it in. I wanted to shoot a quick video, and I hadn't shot one of these in a long time. Just hadn't been in the spirit to shoot a lot of video, right? But I thought that I should shoot a video because this platform only shows some of your organic and your written posts to, I believe, what is it, around 20% of your following or fans or whatever, the friends. So let me shoot a quick video, kind of make this announcement or kind of put my position, at least make it known to the people who care about my opinion and what we're trying to do about it. America's headed into a depression. There are some who will tell you or argue right now that we're already in a depression, and if you look at all of the underlying numbers, really the actual facts, it would be hard to argue with them. And then you'd have the flip side of those who will try to justify, different types of employment numbers to kind of make it seem okay. Then you'll have another group of people. I had one sister, and I'm not trying to be mean or pick on anyone, but when I said this statement, she said that I rebuke this statement in the name of Jesus. And so I mentioned to her that you can rebuke it all you want, but you can't deny the actual fact. You can't deny reality. And I think sometimes a lot of times, especially black people, we tend to not want to face hard truths, and so we'll bury our head in the sand or we'll turn it over to the Lord, which I'm not against that. I pray daily, several times a day, so I'm not against that, but there comes a time where you have to face realities. And so I won't go too far down that path, but so you have these different camps who will probably argue this point, but again, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And right now we do know that millions of people are unemployed. Over 40 million people have been applying. I believe it's close to 44 million now who've applied for unemployment over the past few months. The unemployment rate is right around 19-20%. And again, these are the quote-unquote official numbers. We do know that when white folks catch a cold, black people get pneumonia. And so in most pockets, the numbers are double. We've consistently, since they've even had these statistics, black people have always been double the national average. But in certain pockets, Detroit and other pockets, you can go in and you will see that black people, the unemployment rate is nearly triple the national average. We do know that the PPP program, according to CBS News report, 95% of the black businesses or entrepreneurs did not get this funding, this rescue. Many weren't prepared, didn't have the proper documentation, just being sole proprietorship, really couldn't get it. There were some other means to get the money. The CBS News report also stated that over 40%, I believe it was around 41% of the black businesses that have closed down due to the current situation, the climate that we're in right now, they'll never open again. So what you saying, Brother Bedford? I'm simply stating, and not to mention, in January I did a video reverberating another report where it said that 10 million black jobs would be lost due to AI, artificial intelligence, or automation over the next few years. That was prior to the current situation. And so really, those numbers, those 10 million jobs have been reeled in, because even as businesses are planning to reopen, they want to reopen with less employees and hopefully installing artificial intelligence or automation to replace the jobs that they were planning for 5 to 10 years in the future. It's happening right now. So my point, literally, with 40 to 50 million black people in America, that means that we're talking about tens of millions of black people who are out of jobs, who are self-employed, or businesses are struggling and won't open. All of this is happening, and we're just the beginning stages of this. So you're talking about almost half the population. I would argue even more, but I don't want to go there. But let's just say half of the black population, 20 to 30 million black people, unemployed, no business, no opportunities. White people are going to be struggling to hire themselves, let alone the 20 to 30 million black people that are unemployed. It's a dire situation that's happening, and we're just at the beginning stages. So America's headed into a depression. I'm just giving you the black statistics. White statistics are just as dire. This is why they're nervous. So we're heading into a depression. And I'm of the mindset that you can't bury your head in the sand. That's not a strategy. And we have to properly prepare. And we have to properly prepare with the right types of businesses. And so what I'm doing to try to add some type of solution to this. Obviously, this is an enormous work. So one solution would not be able to solve everybody's problems, everyone's issues. But as I try to do my part, for the past 10 years plus, I've been working in an arena of developing a business and a model that I thought would be very advantageous for the future. It has proved to serve me well. It has proved to give me the freedom and mobility and the control that I've wanted all my life. I very rarely spoke about it simply because I have a lot of friends. When we're talking about black economics and black empowerment, I have a lot of die-hard capitalist friends who are heavy into big payrolls, heavy into getting big bank loans and all of these things. And so I've walked a very thin line of really expressing how strongly I feel about a different type of business model. And how I think that would benefit black people and benefit our communities and really give us back control, the autonomy and the freedom, and really help us to unleash our creativity, really master our skill sets to build the type of businesses where we're not worrying about being $1 gazillion in debt, or we're not worrying about all of this extreme high overhead, all of these different things that really challenge black businesses. And in fact, I think that's been one of the handcuffs that has stopped so many black people from either starting their business that you think you need, or we think we need, $100,000, $200,000 to start a business. And if you need that to start, that means you're thinking too big. And I know I'll get probably some comments about that. We'll save that argument for another day. But you're either thinking too big or you're not properly prepared to build your business. Because if you need $1 million to start, that means that business is already operating or functioning from a deficit. And so you're stalling because you think you need to go get office space, this, and this, business cards, this, and this. And so I want to try to introduce a new business model that I believe is going to be the future for us. Now, this business model ties into national and international business models, but if we're talking about going into a depression, we're talking about businesses that, if you study the businesses that survive the depression and even thrive during the depression, they kind of use this idea that I'm talking about. And so I'm hoping and praying on the date of my birth. I don't really celebrate my birthday, right? I'm not really into that. But on the date of my birth, instead of someone giving me a gift, I want to give a gift. I want to give this gift of this business model that I know that has been very successful for a whole bunch of people. It has served me well. It has served the few clients or customers that I've advised or consulted well. I think where we get off track, again, we fall into the trap of trying to scale our businesses and grow these enormous businesses. I can't even begin to tell you how many of us always heard be the next, how many want to be the black Donald Trump now? Not too many people, or the black Bill Gates, or the black Jeff Bezos. Now, we've had those people. We'll have that discussion at another time. And what happened to them, we'll talk about that at another time. But there's a way for us to not be concerned with being the next black Bill Gates or Bill Bezos or Jeff Bezos or whomever, but how do you and I build the type of business that gives us the control, the freedom, the money, the creativity, and everything that we need to not only survive but thrive and really give us back our time. This whole 9-to-5 concept has come because of the type of world that we're in and what's happening with this world right now. So on the date of my birth, July 13th, I'm going to do a small, intimate, invite only, I guess you could say, class or training, where I'm going to talk about this business model, the only type of business that I think a black person should be focused on right now. And I'm going to give you the 3 things that you must master in order for this business model to even make sense and for it to even be effective. There's some skills, there's a knowledge base that we have to begin to master in order for us to make sure that we are not just thriving, now, or not just surviving, but absolutely thriving, and not even just beyond, a depression era, but into the future. You're watching multinational corporations dying a natural death. And if your idea is to build that type of business, you're already starting at a deficit, one, of trying to come up and raise the capital and infrastructure to build that type of business, which again is going counter to what's happening. But then when you factor in the isolation that this country is going through, where all of these what used to be emerging economies are beginning to build up their infrastructure where they don't need the multinational corporations anymore. And so we're not functioning properly in the time that we're in my opinion. And so July 13th, I'm going to give this 1-hour discussion, conversation. I don't want to get into training like I'm trained, but this conversation about the perfect business model, the best business that we should be focusing on right now, and the 3 skill sets, knowledge base that you must master in order for us to make this a reality in our lives. And so the only way for you to get the invitation, because I can only have 100 people. I think when I put it on the post, the text, we had I believe it's 20-something people who've already said invite me. So you have to type in invite me, then I'll contact you, not right away, but I'll contact you in your inbox with how you can join me on this class. And I have only 98 spots. It's going to be a Zoom. As I just mentioned, over 20 are gone already, so we're down to 70-something spots, whatever it is. And I just announced it yesterday or the day before yesterday, whatever it was. So just type invite me if you're interested. If you're not interested, don't worry about it. There's no pressure. But if you're interested in learning the type of business, even if you have an existing business and you're struggling right now, you didn't get the PPP, how do you reimagine your business? How do you reinvent your business? That's what we're going to talk about, the new type of business model that we need to focus on moving forward, and the 3 skill sets that are absolutely critical. Without the skill set, the business model doesn't make sense. So we want to talk about that. July 13th, make sure you say invite me, and I'll get an invitation to you, and we'll get on and we'll have a conversation, and hopefully this will be beneficial for you. So this is your brother Bedford. I'm about to get it in. Beautiful day. I love Georgia mornings. You can't beat it. Weather's always perfect early morning. Obviously nobody's out, so the social distancing is in full effect. So this is your brother Bedford, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Peace.